fucking well.
Evening, everybody. Hope you're doing well, and welcome to Grumpy Old Reds, where, yeah, you guessed it, we got to talk about Forest again. So we're going to get that done. We're going to get the boys' reaction. We're going to get your thoughts. As always, I can see the arguments already starting in the chat. It's fine to have your opinion. We don't mind here. If you're pro, against, Ange or not Ange or Ann or Rob or whatever, say what you need to say in the chat. You're welcome for your opinion, but please don't police other people's opinions. Let them have their say. Please do hit the like button. Please do subscribe. Just before we start, I just wanted to say a massive shout out to Nikki and Ziggy. Ziggy, you got a lot will know Nikki in the chat. I think he'll be in here as well. But Ziggy lost her parents a couple of years ago, and her brother Troy took it very hard. And unfortunately, he's just taken his life, and they're grieving at the moment. So firstly, if you guys could send Nikki and Ziggy some love in the chat, that would be fantastic. But they do need some help with the funeral costs. And I've said to Nikki that they've got a GoFundMe going on, which I've pinned into the comments. So if you got a spare quid, £5, whatever it is, the link's pinned for you in the chat. And it's just a quick reminder as well that there's a lot more to stress about than what this crap show of a team is doing right now. So big up to the family. Hope they're well. He's got 2 daughters as well that he's left behind. So we send a love to them and the family and everyone's affected. But if you could help at all with the funeral costs, it's pinned for you in the chat. Okay, but Nikki's our mate. It's not gonna tamper the mood we're all feeling in, right? Because Nikki's pissed off as well. I think I haven't fully spoken to him about the game, but yeah, get your messages in. They're lovely to see in there. So let's get into it. Rob was last time. We're gonna kick this off with Rob. You were at the game, weren't you, Rob?
Yeah. I mean, there's a few things I want to say about my overall experience and not just the manager. So I got there in good time and I was confronted with probably the longest queues I've ever seen at the City Ground. I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but the queue for the Brian Clough stand was going back into West Bridgeford. And that was about 15 minutes before, and I thought I wasn't going to get in on time. So I missed the fireworks and stuff. When I finally...
Best bit of the night, that was, Rob.
Yeah, well, when I finally got to my seat, I was a bit out of breath. The atmosphere was amazing, and I was just above the Midtjylland fans with their drum. They had a great time, by the way. And fair play to them. Because they knew exactly how to approach the game and they did everything they needed to do. Now, yeah, so the atmosphere was brilliant. I turned to the bloke behind me and I said, look, these are set piece specialists, apparently. You know, it's been very much spoken about. And within almost 2 minutes, we've hacked the first one down, given away the first dangerous free kick, and Morato's in the book. So off to a great start there. Managed to survive that one. But then there was a sequence of dead balls. And it wasn't long before we're a goal down. And there's practically no sound because they've only got about 100 fans there. So at this point, the crowd, was still very pumped up and urged Forest to attack. Managed to get a chance from a sort of ball over the top. It was actually not a very Ange type attack. It was a ball over the top and Gibbs-White running into space. The one time that we actually managed to pull that off all night, because the rest of the night, our build-up was incredibly slow, just like against Sunderland, So the one time we found some space in behind the defence, we punished it. Just finished celebrating that one. Give them a corner, 2-1. And at that point, the atmosphere just died. It completely died. And everybody, it was like a body blow. And I think after that, it just didn't recover. I have to say that. Now, just to defend my fellow supporters, I went on the Sunderland game. So my expenditure for the 2 games in 5 days is about £120, right? £120 to watch those 2 games. And I was surrounded by people who'd done the same. Yeah. So to see to experience what we've just experienced is going to rile people up, right? Now, we got to halftime. It was evident to me that Igor Jesus was having not really any impact on the game, which is disappointing because I wanted him to start. He was really good against Swansea and Betis, and he was hauled off at halftime. Should have completed both games because we might have won those games if he'd stayed on. But no, we set up for the second half with really no change. No change at all. And for about the first sort of 25 minutes or 30 minutes of that half, nothing happened. Ange stood on the touchline with his hands in his pockets. He wasn't talking to the players. There was no clear patterns of play. And, the build-up, again, was incredibly slow. Incredibly slow. All the passes are sideways, backwards. I am going to defend Ndoye, who you criticised. I thought he had a good game.
Yeah.
His best game, but let's not argue about that.
Yeah.
Sangare did break the lines a few times with passes, but it was 72 minutes before Chris Wood came on, which was way too late. All of a sudden, we had a goal threat. Then 2 disallowed goals, and then a breakaway. Now, I've watched it afterwards. To be fair, it was a complete and utter foul on Hutchinson. Shouldn't have been allowed, but that breakaway was reminiscent of one against Betis, one against Arsenal. It was an Ange defence style breakaway where suddenly they've got 3 against our 1 defender. My God, they punished it. And at that point, things went really, really ugly. Possibly the ugliest I've experienced in living memory because the fans turned on the manager. I've never seen Forest fans call in for a manager to be sacked like that. And I didn't join in. I prefer to wait until after the game is finished before attacking my own players or manager or giving that kind of feedback. But I would say about 60%, looking around me, 60% of the fans down in the Clough and the Bridgeford end were joining in with that chant. And I thought, right, well, a line's been crossed now. There is no way back for Postecoglou. There is no way back. It's clear to me that, despite the fact that there were some individual good performances, the players don't know what they're supposed to be doing. We have some clear problems, which are set pieces and counterattacks. We can't deal with them. We've seen, 1 goal at home since the opening day of the season, right? There is no evidence to me that is going to change over the coming games. No evidence at all. The opposition is incredibly hard. Those 2 home games we've just had were, winnable home games. Take like a win and a draw from those. No one's really complaining. Steady the ship, work in progress, etc., etc. The problem is I've got with Ange. Look, he's actually quite a likable guy, right? And he's top entertainment for everybody else, just not for his own club, right? Everybody else is really enjoying this, particularly Palace and Tottenham fans. It's not our job to entertain them. I don't like being a laughingstock. And if I look at the guy, I think he's really some kind of artist, right? He is an artist, right? But the problem is that the Premier League is brutal. It's absolutely brutal. And I don't know if you've ever seen it when like a martial arts expert tries their hand at UFC. They always get the crap kicked out of them. And that's what's happening to Ange. He can't. It's pretty football. It's not effective because the problem is You're either going to come up against a bigger team who's going to dominate you, or you're going to come up against a so-called lesser team and they're going to frustrate you and they're going to nick goals off set pieces and they're going to hit you on the break. So in neither case, I mean, all I see is loss ahead of us. I just see an unending string of losses until the end of the season, right? And Tottenham actually put up with that because they were still in the Europa League. Well, now it's looking like he hasn't even got that, right? So I'm afraid to say, I don't mind the guy. I didn't call for him to be sacked in the ground. That's rough. That's brutal. I'm not sure who's available, but he has to go now before there is any more damage. Because, you know, as you said earlier, the situation, apart from the League Cup, which we can do without, the situation is still recoverable, right? But my God, if you let it set in for another 4, 5, 6 games before making the decision that you're going to make anyway, that's way too long. You pick up more injuries, more players getting demoralized, more fights breaking out. And actually, you know what? If this carries on, I wonder how I think they're going to struggle to fill the ground as well, because no one wants to pay 60, 70, 80 pounds to watch that. So anyway, pretty depressing performance. I hope that the owner has got the message, right? He has to now own up to his mistake. By the way, I thought it was a bit sad singing Nuno's name, right? We need to remember what Nuno did, which is that he engineered his own departure. And the team was having problems before he went, right? We'd not won a home game since April.
Brentford.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, I mean, apart from that, right, we had a rubbish home record before Ange came. But the fact is, I don't think Ange is the manager to dig himself out of a problem. If you hand him a team that's doing well, you know, running on all cylinders, I'm sure he could get really good things out of that team. But he is absolutely not the man to turn a crisis round, because sometimes to turn a crisis round, you've got to play ugly, really ugly, very pragmatic. And it's not who we are, is it? So anyway, thank you for letting me have a nice long go. I have nothing positive to say about that. It felt like I was actually part of a citizen uprising or some kind of revolt. It was ugly. It was really ugly, uglier than the football. The atmosphere was toxic by the end.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you on the next episode. I mean, you covered a lot, mate. I mean, you covered a lot in a long time, but you covered a lot. It's hard to argue with it. I don't know who wants in next, Ben or Ant. Like what you're saying.
I'll jump in because
just
I don't
before
know,
you jump
I'm
in, just a quick reminder, yeah, guys, please do hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. We're at 98 likes to 600 of you in here, so please do hit the like button. And if you can, if there's even £1 you can donate to help Ziggy and Nikki and the family with Troy's funeral, who sadly took his own life. The link's pinned in the chat there. So please do help and donate if you can. Even if it's £1, it's much appreciated by the family. And they're all asking for it. What Ant are we getting today?
Yeah, I've not been very well today, so I won't be ranting and raving. Listen, people know what my feelings were about the prospect of success under this manager, and I was hoping to be proven wrong. I take no satisfaction out of being proven right. I mean, like Rob, I've already spent a lot of money. I've got Manchester United and Chelsea tickets already, so I know I'm not looking forward to them, which is a shocking state of affairs. I will say one thing about the chanting. Let me get that out of the way. You know how critical I can be of players, the team, the management when I'm on here. But I do always support my team when I'm there under any circumstances. I support the players and the team. I've never booed. I never will boo. But I don't hold it against anybody that feels that they need to, because football is you should be allowed to express your feelings, get things out. We've become a very soft society. In my day, trust me, what was shouted out and what was sung is a hell of a lot worse than it is now.
Even in the early 2000s.
Yeah. So we're very protected now and protective of people's feelings. And I did really feel sorry for Postecoglou when he was standing there to have that amount of people shouting, getting sacked in the morning must be awful. But I can't blame people for feeling that way. It's after what we've achieved since being promoted, including the two seasons we were struggling, they were both still good seasons because we managed to do what a lot of promoted teams can't do, and that is stay up. And then last year was an exceptional year. I will add to what Rob said about the Nuno chant. To me, that is just ridiculous because people forget how poor we were in the second half of last season. We were poor, and we lost to West Ham 3-0. So, let's not rewrite history.
I think it was
all brilliant under Nuno. It wasn't. It was going down the pan with Nuno. That kind of football that we were playing. I'm not going to say it's been found out because it was found out. I found out first day what kind of football we were playing, but teams were learning how to cope with it, and it was becoming easy for teams to cope with it. He's got to go. He's got to go, and he's got to go quickly. I never understand why people say, "Oh, he's got 3 games to save his career." I mean, so if you win all those 3 games, what happens after that? Is it a clean slate, or do you wait for the next batch of matches where we don't get a point? The guy is not good enough for Nottingham Forest. He wasn't good enough for Tottenham. I warned you. 22 losses in 38 games. I said it over and over and over again. I wasn't judging him on 2 weeks at Forest. And sadly, he's proven to be exactly what I thought he was, and that is an inept, incompetent manager who's stubborn, refuses to change his ways, and thinks he's right all the time. That's what he is, and he's going to walk away from Forest with another few million in his bank. So don't worry too much about it, and he'll get another job. So don't worry too much about that side of the personal side of things. He'll be okay. From a professional and from a Nottingham Forest point of view, he's got to go. It's never going to work. It's just not going to work. That last night, that team looked a mess. Nobody knew what they were doing. Nobody was performing well. The only player that I thought performed well was in the second half with Sangare, with some of his passing and his interceptions. I thought were exceptional. Apart from that, no, there's nothing to get excited about. Nothing. And as Rob pointed out, 72 minutes before he brought Chris Wood on. I know you guys all love Jesus. I've warned you about that as well, by the way.
Well, you changed your mind on him.
Any player can bag a couple of goals. And, I remember when Tyler one year scored 7 on the trot and people were valuing him in the chat at 70 million. He's not a kid, Jesus. He's not. And last night he was anonymous, and Wood should have been brought on earlier. But that's just a tactical thing or technical thing, or whichever way you look at it. Yeah, he started off with 3 at the back, having only played 3 at the back once in his entire Tottenham career. Why not have Savona at right back, a proper right back, and Williams at left back, a proper left back? Why fuck about with the formation and try to be clever and you're not clever? And all this pretty football, beautiful football, it doesn't exist. We've seen it for 45 minutes. Do you expect to ever see that again? Doubtful, isn't it? Let's be honest. So that's basically it. Sadly, I think he has to go. And if it was me, I would do it today. I don't see any reason in waiting. Okay, give him Newcastle. We're going to lose. Is anybody looking forward to the Newcastle game? I don't want to watch it. I will watch it, but I really don't want to. I'd rather go out and come back and look at the result. And then Chelsea at home. Man U, even Man U, I'm scared of. Can you believe it? I'm even worried about Man U.
Sorry to interrupt you, but there's a Bournemouth in between those two.
Oh, Bournemouth.
Oh, God.
Oh, well.
Just what we really wanted.
What exactly is the
He'll win that one. He'll win that one.
Yeah, well, I don't think he will, mate. I don't think he will. I mean, what is the point in waiting when it is inevitable? And all these people that kept saying to me, but Anne, he won the Europa League last season. How many times did he have to say, anybody can win a cup? Anybody can win a cup. Get the right draw, a couple of lucky results, and also in the cup, he put 10 men behind the ball, by the way. He didn't play Angeball in the cup. And we beat Man U in the final. We beat Man U twice last season, home and away. So what great achievement is that? So I don't want to hear any more of this Europa Cup bollocks. And by the way, we've got 1 point out of 6 in the Europa League. So I'm not going to say any more because, as I say, there's not really much to say, is there, if we're honest? It's inevitable he's going to go, and the sooner the better, sadly. What's the answer? I've just told you the answer. The answer is to sack Ange Postecoglou because he's not fit to be Forest manager. I don't want to hear this, who's going to replace him with? Because, quite frankly, there's only one person on this planet who I wouldn't want to be replaced.
Oh, can I guess?
Go on, then.
Southgate.
Oh, damn it. You got me. You got me.
Wait, so you take Cooper back?
You take Amarin?
Mate. Who?
Billy Davis?
Amarin.
David Platt?
Any of them. Any
David
of them.
Platt.
Maybe, all right. I am. There is a bit of I don't want Amarin.
Dyche?
Oh, come on. You're being cruel now. Stop it. All right. There's a handful then.
Potter?
Yeah, but
Potter,
Simon, I'm not offering a solution. I'm not paid to come up with a solution. I'm a fan, right? There are people in positions in Nottingham Forest, i.e. Edu, who are paid hundreds of thousands of pounds a year to scout, go through the entire world with a scout, with their scouts, with their what do you call it? Their analysis machines, everything. Analysis machines, fucking hell. You know what I'm saying? They've got the ability to analyze all these managers from out the world, what their contracts are like, how much it would cost, whether they're willing to come. I ain't got that. I've got Twitter. X. Okay, so don't say, ooh, that's not a solution then, Anne. It is a solution. Because the solution is to get rid of Postecoglou because he's not good enough. Anyway, I said I'd stop, so I am doing.
Just before we bring Ben in and Ez, we got a criminal amongst our midst. Shout out to Carefree Lewis, the 74 charges and his shameless belt. We'll see you in 2 weeks. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Oh, Wolfie,
he's quivering in his boots.
I know it's natural reaction from you, but
speaking of Mud Brothers.
Saeed.
Hey,
you want to do it? What,
Saeed?
Saeed's the only one keeping me going, man. He's more miserable. I don't know, maybe not, man. It's like, Saeed, would you switch managers? Would any of you switch managers?
Oh, no, it's not that bad, is it?
A little bit of wife swap going on.
No,
I don't know. I think with our players, I mean, don't.
No, he's just no.
You can tell how desperate I'm getting. I'm trying to do what Wolverine was doing with Ange. I'm trying to, finagle it so it doesn't seem quite so bad. No, I wouldn't take Amarit. No, but I don't want Postecoglou either. I want neither of them. Is that allowable?
No, exactly.
No.
It is
Big
allowed.
up Sai with the £5. He goes, Gibbs-White was gesturing to fans to stop the chants and looked really disappointed in the fans. Don't think that was caught on camera. I didn't see that. He should also
I heard about that. But the thing is, Simon, had he been transferred to Tottenham and Andrew was still manager, it wouldn't be a lot different, mate.
No, but also maybe he needs to look disappointed at his shooting as well, because this shooting is
yeah, I've not even spoken about the match because, quite frankly,
we'll get onto the match. But yeah, we're 23 minutes and we've done 2 openers, man. Seriously, guys, do me a massive favor. There's nearly 800 in here. 176 likes. What are you lot doing, man? I know everyone needs the therapy. We're here for it. I get it, but let's just get to 200. We get 200. Ben, what are you saying, bro?
I mean, have
you seen your name?
Yeah, I need to change it. I've almost repressed yesterday. I can't even remember what happened. But the fact that Dwarfland Football Club can come to the City Ground, a club that most people have never even heard of, and turn us over 3-2 is, to be honest, I think it's quite sickening. And Rob rang me just before the match, and he made the joke. He said, "Oh, I wonder what the odds are to put 3-2 bet on." And he jinxed it because we ended up losing 3-2. So I was so disappointed. I can't even remember the goals we've scored, even though one of them was my boy Ndoye. It was such a crap match. There was only a few standout players. I don't know why Murillo was even on the pitch. Murillo did not look match fit. And John Percy's come out on Twitter about an hour ago saying that there is some talk in the club about being disappointed in how the season is going with Ange. And
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah,
That's
and
breaking
there's
news.
only
Breaking
probably
news,
a few matches left for him to turn it around. Well, last night was a disgrace. Set pieces, absolutely tragic. Last season, we were one of the best set piece defensive clubs in the league, and now we're one of the worst. We're conceding like 3 goals a game. It truly is shocking. We've gone from having one of the best defenses after Arsenal with Milenkovic and Murillo to conceding 3 goals a game, and at the City ground with all the fans behind them. It's sickening. Like, Ange is supposed to be known for this attacking football, but attacking football is not going to work if you're going to keep conceding all these goals. And to be honest, I'm still wondering whether our players are good enough to play Angeball, because they can't shoot. Anderson yesterday had 3-4 shots. He can't shoot on goal. Morgan Gibbs-White can't shoot on goal. Some of the shots that went to their keeper were just dead center of the goal. Like, okay, Ndoye was probably the best shooter on the pitch last night from the eye test, but everyone else I thought was crap. And the problem is our next match is Newcastle away, and that is going to be a tough match. And there's one person who I just know, I can see it right now. He's getting criticised by the Newcastle fans. He cost £55 million. He's had no goals. He's had no assists. I guarantee you Elanga on Sunday will score against us. I'd almost bet my house on it. Elanga will score against us on Sunday. You know what it is. It'd be such a Forest thing if Elanga comes out on Sunday and scores a hat-trick against us. I'd be not surprised at all. And one thing that hasn't really been mentioned that much is, if you take away the injury, Ange only made 1 sub last night. He made 1 sub. And I think in the Europa League as well, you get an extra sub. So I'm pretty sure you get 6 subs in a game. He made 1. How anyone can look at that play and make 1 sub to try and change things is beyond me, because it's not good enough. And he stands there with his head in his hands, and he looks down in his interviews, and he mumbles away. It's just not good enough. And to be honest, I'm kind of sat on the fence about whether he should go or not. But if, like Ant said, if we go and somehow win on Sunday, is it just kicking the can down the road? Because the players, to me, do not look like they're playing football as they did under Nuno. They don't look comfortable. They don't look tactically aware. Something has drastically gone wrong. Nobody wanted Ange in the first place. I think Marinakis has got to hold an L on this. I think he's got to hold an L. And I think it's just time to try and start again, because we were joking before, oh, maybe we'll win the Europa League and get relegated down to the Championship. At the moment, we'll get relegated out of the Europa League after 6 matches, and then we'll get relegated down to the Championship as well, because the football is that bad. And I don't put 100% of the blame on Ange. I blame the players too, but at the end of the day, it stops with the coach. And I can't. Okay. I'm almost to the point, like Ant said, I don't even want to watch the game on Sunday. I can't be asked. I cannot be asked to sit through that. It was utter woke nonsense. It was crap. It was drivel. And they need to sort it out.
There's a lot to take away from yesterday, but I'll tell you my personal experience, how the day went. You know, I literally woke up yesterday with a bad feeling physically and metaphorically in my bones, and I was doing everything to get out of going to that game yesterday. But I left it too late to exchange my ticket. But I thought, you know what, it's my first game of the season. I feel physically up for it. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go. I'm going to make the most of it. I can't understand how the players didn't put as much effort into it yesterday as I did, just to even get to the game. When I watched that first half, and I didn't watch the full first half, anybody who's in our Discord group will have seen, I have no shame. I don't care. I mean, I'm sure you guys have already mentioned about the booing and the chanting and all that sort of stuff. Everybody is entitled to express their anger, disappointment in whichever way they want. I did it with my feet, literally, or with my foot, and I walked out. I walked out before halftime. I'd had enough of it. I've never seen us defend so poorly. It was embarrassing watching that first half. Conceding that second goal so soon after getting ourselves back into it was the last straw for me. And the way he set up with a back three, it looked bad from the start. It didn't work out any better throughout the game. Murillo was clearly not fit, shouldn't even have been on the pitch. And I'm I'm concerned. There's a few things I need to clarify because there's a lot of people who are straw manning my position when I've been, debating with Ant. I've not said Ant's wrong. All I said, my argument against what Ant was saying was that it should have been based on, we saw his track record, we shouldn't have signed it. But that wasn't our decision to make. That decision was made by Mr. Marinakis. So once he's in, my point of view was, once he's in, I've got to give him a chance. And I feel like I have, as much as anybody else. And I asked Ant a question in the last stream, which was again taken out of context by one of the comments. I asked Ant, the way we're carrying on, does it make you not want to go to the games? And he said yes. And I've got to say, after watching yesterday, I feel exactly the same. I've already bought my tickets for Chelsea and Man U, but I'm quite happy at this stage to be boycotting this. I would, if this carries on, I'm boycotting it, and I don't think I'm going to be the only one. This could be the first time since we've got promoted that we'll see MTC, because I think the fans have had enough as well. And he was got rid of me.
Sorry,
he started off.
Go reset my camera, man.
Sorry, go and do that, man. Ange started off on the back foot automatically because I don't care. There's not a single fan amongst us, well, certainly not amongst us, that would have had him in. Forget about any shortlist, right? He wasn't on any of our shortlists. So for any fans to say, yeah, I would have had him, no, you wouldn't have. Not a single fan. The only reason we got him was because he was out of work. Simple as that. Mm-hmm. If Ange was in a job, do you think he would have fucking paid off his contract at some other club to get him?
You don't think it was Mr. Marinakis got all story-eyed that he could get Europa League winner?
But Ange, do you think if he was in a job, do you think if he was in a job, Marinakis would have taken him out of it? No. It was the fact that he was free.
Yeah, but normally people are in jobs are successful, aren't they? So
exactly. Exactly. So. But it's not his fault that he got hired. That's not his fault. And at times I did feel sorry for him yesterday. And I think mentioned, I don't blame anybody for feeling the way they did. But I would have been, if I was still in the stadium, I would have been embarrassed to hear the Nuno chants, to hear the sacked in the morning chants. It's not what I do. Like I said, for me, I just walked out. I walked out, and I bumped into somebody else who walked out at halftime as well. So, Hazy, if you're in the chat, make yourself known, mate. But he came over to me. We had a nice little chat. We both walked out at halftime. We both had enough.
I saw somebody say they'd met you, and they couldn't believe how small you were. So, yeah, he came up to my waist. I don't know what you were doing, Ed, but he said you only came up to his waist.
I was hobbling over Trent Bridge when he came over and had a chat with me and asked me if I needed any help. Bless him. So we got chatting.
Oh, bless him.
And obviously I had to plug the channel, and he goes, I thought I recognised you. And then eventually that was it. But I've got to say, look, it's not his fault that he got hired. He got hired to do the job, but he started off on such a bad foot. There's no way, and I said this a couple of streams ago, you can't gauge it on the away fans. The away fans are a bit too happy clappy. You know, we saw how they were
our away fans are magnificent, Ed. You can't call them happy.
They're great. No. I'm not dissing. Honestly, I'm not dissing it. All I'm saying is you don't get a true gauge of it, because even when we were losing 5-1.
I think they're more forgiving, aren't they? They're more
forgiving. That's what I mean. So if he loses at home fans, which he's lost after 2 home games, he's lost at home fans. He's not going to get that back. So when we ask the question, does he need to go? Based on that purely, he has to go. He has to go for me. And the sooner the better. It's got to be in this international break for me, regardless of the result against Newcastle. Does anybody else agree with that? Because once you've lost the home fan base, I don't see how he's going to get it back. How's he going to win that back? And unless you win 20 games in a row.
It's got to go. However long we keep him for, it is only kicking the can down the road, because he is not going to be successful at this club.
It's a stay of execution. It's just a stay of execution.
And what's the point in doing that? All he's doing is putting us in a. All these people keep saying, well, actually they're getting less and less. But these people keep saying, give him more. You're just getting us into a worse and worse position. And the worse position we're in when he does go, the more difficult it is for us to get a quality manager.
I'm not sure I agree with this feeling sorry stuff. Like you make your own.
No,
he's a human being at the end of the day, man.
Particular moment, like I said earlier on, he's got plenty of money, and he's very arrogant and he's very stubborn. Don't feel sorry for him. But at that particular moment, when he stood there all on his own and you got 20,000 people who were supposed to be your fans, I did feel sorry for him at that moment. I did.
He's still a human being.
I'm a human being.
Yeah, of course he's human, but he's making the decisions which people are disagreeing with. People aren't going to like it. People are showing their reaction to it.
I mean, I think Wolfie mentioned it, but we literally
people for doing it. I'm just saying I felt sorry for him at that moment.
Yeah, I felt sorry for him. But
maybe he's not bothered. I don't know.
Like Wolfie said, we've had a half of football where we've been kind of catfished a little bit. If that was Angeball, that was probably the only thing similar to Angeball that we've seen in these six games he's had so far. Is that including the Arsenal game? Yeah.
So what is Angeball then? Is it means going forward with a load of players just passing it about until he score?
Yeah, and getting basically.
So what I'm saying about that is what I'm saying about the Betis thing is all we were doing. I'm not being funny, but all we were doing is attacking. Now to us, that's Angeball, but most clubs attack from time to time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So was it Angeball, or was it just those players are such good players and they were just going forward and passing the ball about, enjoying themselves and putting in a great performance?
Well,
they got in at half time.
I do want to have a debate about the players, though.
Came out and they were totally different.
That's all we're moving on to. They're not getting away with this shit.
But I do want to have a debate about the players because Ange we can say what we want about Ange's systems and so forth, and I don't know why he's made it so hard for himself. He really had such a good base to start with, but he didn't need to make major tweaks. He just needed to implement things stage by stage, and he's made it impossible for himself. But the players really do have to have a look at themselves, and I'm talking more importantly the senior players or the so-called senior players. We already touched on about not being able to shoot, but there's a lot of things they can't do. They can't seem to pass it 2 yards to each other. What the hell is going on?
That's been a problem for ages. The only person who can pass the ball in that team is Sangare. And there's still a massive agenda against Sangare. I don't know why, but he's seemingly...
Sangare looks good when you give him time on the ball. He got time on the ball in that last third
some
of
those
the game,
forward passes that Sangare makes that cuts their defense open. That's what we need to do. And he's one of the only players who does that. There was some decent performances. Anderson was okay. Nico Williams was okay.
Sorry, Crypto. To be fair, as you didn't see the second half or all of it. It was the second half when Sangare came alive.
What I'm talking about.
I got home to watch about the last 25 minutes of it. And that's when he seemed to be dominated. His through balls were fantastic. But they were on the back foot and they were giving him space in that final third. So when he gets that, yes, he can pick a pass. But in the Premier League, he doesn't get that time and space. We've all seen that.
That's up to the team to perform in such a way that he's always the spear man and he's got that time. That's how a good manager does it.
They should all be able to. There's two things I think a professional footballer should be able to do, especially in the Premier League. One, pass the ball to a player on your team's feet. Two, shoot at the target. And half of our players don't seem to be able to do either of those things. And I just think it's absolutely shocking. And there's players in our team who are normally extremely consistent. Murillo, Milenkovic, Sels, they don't look that great to me either. Sels, to be honest, in the last few games, he doesn't look, he's not the same keeper as he was last year. Like, something has changed and they need to get back in. Wolfie's camera's giving me like...
I'm fucking going to break something in a minute. Like, I'm not pissed off enough.
It's just atrocious. It really is bad. Like, something needs to change. They need a proper coach, someone who will coach them how to play football, not someone who will give them shit tactics.
Not just that. I assume that Ange has come with a team of people, right?
He has. So
that would include things like a set piece coach, sack him, physio, sack him. Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
Rob. He doesn't have a set piece coach.
Yeah, well,
he doesn't believe in set pieces.
Get one then. What I'm trying to say is that whoever his physio is got that Murillo call very wrong. Very wrong. Yeah.
Whoever made that call needs to be sacked.
Yeah.
Can I say though, Wolfie, you were on with Sava earlier on, and as soon as you mentioned about Murillo, he says, "Oh, what played him when he wasn't fit?" And they had to go, "Yeah, that's Ange. He's got a record for doing it."
Just to clarify something, John Percy said on Twitter that the injury yesterday to Murillo was nothing to do with his previous injury.
Oh, fair enough.
Just
It might not be them. That's
Maybe.
fair enough.
Let me just catch up with the super chats. There's nearly 900 of you in here and 264 likes. Please do hit the like button if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe. Massive thank you to you guys, by the way. You took us over 33,000 subscribers yesterday. You guys are absolute legends, and we've flown past 33,100 already. Thank you guys so much. Big up to Andy, is he a Forest fan again? That's going to wind him up. With the 4.99, he goes, "So, Mr. Wolf, I did warn you the difference between me and Ant is he was hoping to be proven wrong. I knew we wouldn't from the president of Ange out." So
I know, I knew. I said before this stream started, I said, look, I knew it, but I had to be a bit,
I'm just saying, it sounds like I'm reading that. If I reread that message, it would be a Wolfie. I did warn you that I wanted Forest to lose all the games because I hate my club. Andy, shout out to you, Andy. Much love. Big up to Ant with the 6 months. He goes, 6 months have gone fast. Great space for Forest fans. Yo, Ant, you've been an absolute legend. Again, I apologize that you have to share your name with one certain individual, but
you should apologize for giving everybody epilepsy with that bloody camera.
No, that camera's well. What's wrong with the camera?
I don't know what is going on with it. Shout out to you, and
let it cool down. That'll be it.
It's not hot, man. The camera's not flashing. It's fucking StreamYards. Big up to the lovely Ziggy. Let me come on camera for this. So Ziggy is the one who's lost her brother. Much love to Ziggy. Please do help. Loads of you. By the way, shout out to all of you who've just donated there. You've nearly pushed their target up to £3,000. It's at 2,768. You guys are unbelievable. As much as we like to banter you and you banter us back, when there's tragic times, you guys come together like no other. So shout out to each and every one.
They are literally the best.
They are, and loads of other YouTubers say it, but they're just jealous.
I've seen them. I've seen the opposed chat. Don't compare, mate.
We hear what they say off cam. Yeah, good thing you don't hear what we say off cam about you. I'm joking. But no, please do support. If we get that to 3,000, that's only 232 more quid to get it to 3K. That would be fantastic. Yeah. And it means
to get it to Forest. And
you guys have already just gone and got it to 2,800. You guys are ridiculous, man. Much love to all of you. But shout out to Ziggy, to Nikki. Nikki, give her a big hug from me. Right. I know you're smelly and stuff, Nikki, but
yeah, does she want that? Does she really want that?
My Nikki don't smell, bro. You calling Nikki a stinker? You don't smell.
No, it's more like leave her alone.
He's fresh to death.
Leave her alone, Nikki, for a bit.
Big up to I'm turning this camera off. I'm gonna break it. Big up to Stoney with the 35 months, and he's only 34 months years old. Shout out to you, Daniel son. And big up to Chris, as always, with the super chat. He says, "Don't care how bad it was, the chant was disgraceful." I say this: the chant, I don't agree with it, but also I don't begrudge if people want to do it. I mean, was it disrespectful? I'd say, yeah, probably. The Nuno bit was for me. The Nuno bit was.
Yeah, the Nuno bit is worse than saying.
Yeah, especially the way Nuno left. Especially the way Nuno
why are people caring about Nuno?
He's not coming back. B, he had a terrible last 6 months, and C, he fucking disrespected the club and the ownership.
Exactly. And D, he took 3 points with him to West Ham on purpose.
Yeah. Nuno wanted to leave. People need to understand that he wanted gone.
Shout out to
I'm
you,
just
Chris.
trying to think of. Sorry, go on.
Last one. Big up to Paul. Gotta be one of them OGs in here with the 37 months. Shout out to you with his angry looking profile picture there. Big up to you, Paul. Thank you so much for the 37 months. All right, get those likes up, guys. We're on 302. You can do much better than that. Let's talk about these players, right? Let me come off the camera for 1 second.
Can I just say one thing, actually, because it's before we get to the players, but I'm trying to remember the last time a manager had such a difficult start in terms of trying to win the fans round. And I think back to when McLaren came in, because it was just after Billy Davies got sacked, and nobody expected Billy to get sacked on the back of a season where we just missed out on the playoffs. I think it was after the Swansea playoff. And then McLaren comes in, and nobody obviously wanted McLaren. And it took a long time. He never got the fans backing, but it took about I'll say half a dozen games before they started chanting for him to be out. This has come quite, I mean, like I say, it's his second home game. And the only other one I can think of is McLeish, because that came on the back of, what was his name? Sean Thingy getting sacked, wasn't it?
Driscoll.
Abruptly. Yeah, Sean O'Driscoll getting sacked abruptly. So that's the last two where I think that a manager's come in where nobody wanted him, but they were still given more time than Ange's. Ange's not helped himself at all, by the way. But I don't know if anyone wants to comment on that before we going into the players. But he started off on such a bad foot that I can't see him.
Brought this on himself. It's the worst start
to a
new manager for Forest in 100 years.
Over 100 years.
That's nearly as old as Ange.
The 19th century. Since the 19th century, since the 1800s.
1925.
The thing he's beat that record. It's gone back to the
thing that's most disappointing.
I think it's the difference between league games and all games.
Yeah,
difference. Yeah.
The thing that's most disappointing for me is that this season was meant to be a season where we build upon last season. Yes, we fell off at the start of at the end of last season. But the point of getting a new manager in was to build, was to make sure that next year we have Europe as well, was to try and win the Europa League, was to try and finish in maybe, the top 5, top 6 to get European football for next year too. And we're doing the stark opposite. We're actually risking relegation.
Well, it's a real risk, mate.
We've got a better team. Look how much money was spent on players.
You lot are moving too far.
Some of our players cost 35.
If we keep on Postecoglou, we go down.
This is where I'd argue about the players have to play their part. It's the same players. So
they don't look comfortable in this system. That's my problem with Ange.
Yeah, but they can still pick up a man in the box when they're defending a set piece.
Well, apparently they can't.
No, they can. They can. We got to talk about the players, and we're going to talk about it now, just after.
Sorry for my language.
A big up to Warren. Oh, fuck me. Cameron. With the £2, he goes, stay together, whichever manager of the club, he says. Very poetic, Warren. Very poetic. Thank you for the £2.
Does he mean us?
That ain't gonna happen. Scottish Forest guy with the £2, he goes, Marinakis needs to get his finger out and Silver in. I said it when Nuno went. I'm just
whoa. You said it, did you?
Yes, I got it. This is getting worse now. This game, I'm gonna have to turn it off.
Wolfie, I know you love
one more from your namesake. You can read it, Ant. Go on.
Murillo got run over and hurt back. Looked like American football tackle. Should have been yellow card.
The ref was awful. Don't get me started on the ref.
The ref was dreadful.
The ref was a shock.
Honestly, it felt like actually mid of the first half yesterday. It felt like watching American football. It really did. It was like everyone would set up. You'd get about 15 minutes of gameplay. Then the whistle would go. Something else. Everybody else lines up again. About another 15, 20 seconds.
Rob, that's their game, Rob. That's their game.
Yeah, I know.
But the thing is, they won free kicks. Like, you can't begrudge it.
No, they were really physical. They came with a good game plan.
Yeah, but any team now knows that that's the cheap and easy way to beat us, right?
Is there anybody else that's truly grateful that we didn't qualify for the Champions League this year?
No.
Fucking hell.
No.
I am. No, my mate, we'd have been slaughtered in every game. Slaughtered.
We're slaughtered now, though.
I'd rather get slaughtered
we can still fix it.
In FC Midtjylland. I don't mind losing 3-2 to PSG.
No, but we wouldn't lose 3-2 to PSG. We'd lose 9-0.
Okay, I don't mind losing 10-0 to PSG.
You would. Trust me, nobody likes losing. Doesn't matter who you're playing. You don't like losing. Like honestly, you say it beforehand. You say, "Oh, Real Madrid, I wouldn't mind." If we lost it, you would. You would. Especially if you were outclassed, outplayed, and embarrassed. That's how bad I feel that this situation is. That if we were in the Champions League now, we would be embarrassed. Well, we're embarrassed.
We're embarrassed anyway. We're literally the defining embarrassment of the Premier League. We're a laughing stock. Crystal Palace fans, Spurs fans, they're laughing at us for good reason. Mainly
I'm just glad Wolfie didn't go big on it all last season. I
blame Wolfie. I blame Wolfie, but
why am I catching strays on here, man? My fucking camera ain't working. Give me a break. right?
What you could do to go viral is smash your camera live on stream.
I can't, man. It's proper expensive, man. I don't want to. I'm tempted though.
Well, it bloody doesn't look it.
Yeah, well, not at the moment. Anyway, we need to talk about the players. Look, everyone said what they've needed to say about Ange, but I'm sorry, the players have to hold some smoke as well. Like the performances were poor. We're stretching. Like Sangara, I thought had a really good second half. First half, okay. Nico Williams was his consistent minimum 7 out of 10 per game. But some of the performance I'm hearing, you lot bigging up Ndoye like he's freaking the next Lamine Yamal on the wing or something is quite frankly embarrassing, man. Oh, he beat a player twice. Wow. Let's
at least Ndoye can shoot. His shooting was pretty good. He nearly scored twice.
Put him up front then. He ain't a winger.
He tested the keeper and scored. He did more than what most people did.
I'm not saying
Ben, in all honesty, I wouldn't. Apart from I thought Sangare did some really good play in the second half. I find it difficult to pick the bones out of that and give any player too much praise, if I'm honest.
Well, none of them were fantastic.
You know? So I can't sit here and say Ndoye was great,
but at least he can shoot. Is my point, because both of our
okay. Ben, he can shoot. How many goals has he scored this season?
Well, he scored a lot internationally.
How many has he scored this season for Forest?
I think he scored for. Yeah, but no one is scoring.
How many? How many?
I don't know. One.
That makes your argument worse. He scored 2 goals, but he can shoot.
2. That's better than most of our team.
2 goals, man.
I don't think anybody can shoot.
That's not bad because most of the time we can't even get a shot on goal.
Hey, Ben, you mentioned Elanga. I'm going to argue, yeah, despite all these freaking signings we've made, we haven't even replaced Elanga, mate. And he had a cracking game.
You were against Adama Traore.
He had a cracking game Wednesday night. He's hitting 4.
You are the reason.
But you got to forget Elanga because he's gone.
Traore than freaking Ndoye. I'll tell you that now.
And there's more than one way to skin a cat. That's why you have managers. You know, if you've not got... See, the thing is with a manager, normally he will adjust his tactics to suit the players he's got. And now Amorim won't. Ange won't. And look where they are.
Yeah, but yesterday, Ange didn't even make subs. He didn't even bring on some new wingers.
Do you think it's a similar thing that we're saying about Amorim and Ange, right? I keep going back to it, but do you think that the players we've got in that squad are 17th and losing at home to Midtjylland?
No.
Do you think that is as good as they can get? Or do you think it's possible that another manager would get more out of them?
100%. I agree.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So you can blame the players, but at the end of the day, it's the managers that put them together, gets the tactics, get the formation.
I agree.
You know?
And we've spent all this money and we've supposedly signed these fantastic players, and he's made 1 sub apart from the one he had to make for the injury.
And that's,
I blame Nuno for leaving Hutchinson out because he showed us at the weekend that he's.
Well, yeah, Hutchinson is good. Hutchinson looks decent.
Yeah,
but
he left him out the squad. Why did he do
20 minutes, and now you lot again are moving him like he's Yamal, man. Like,
yeah, but the point
is,
no. What I said was he showed some promise at the weekend. Is what I said. I didn't say
Ben was freaking glazing him there, man.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, but against a Danish 4th team. Players like Backwar, etc., should be good enough to. It doesn't matter if it's Hutchinson.
I think you're far too disrespectful of our opponents. They played more in Europe than we have.
I'm not trying to disrespect them. I thought they were good. I thought the manager for them did a brilliant job, right? I thought they were good. They came with a game plan. They were physical. They came with a game plan, and they turned us over. And their manager did a great job. And I thought their fans were great, etc. I'm not trying to disrespect them.
Sorry, is that a great job being able to put the ball into the middle and a big bloke heads it in or whatever?
Well,
he's doing a great job. That is the opposition manager being shit.
I'm sorry, but he's turned over a Premier League team. I think they said they hadn't beaten an English team for 20 years.
Huh? Premier League team.
I got sound effects. All right, let's bring Rob in.
Joking?
Huh? Wait, what did that do? Can't hear it.
Is he talking to himself?
Yeah.
It's just loads of random noises come in. Like there's I don't know.
Shit, is it Friday night football? I didn't even realise it.
Is it Friday night
football? I'm doing my FPL. I'm doing my FPL.
Friday night football.
Rob,
I'm fed up with football.
Rob Milenkovic. Am I being harsh to say he doesn't look as good under Nuno, under Ange, Nuno, whatever?
What's what I mean? What's going on? What's happened to him?
Nobody does, quite honestly. I mean, I'm not going to sort of single him out, but I think.
Again.
So, I mean, I'm going to break with tradition and say I actually didn't think Anderson had a very good game last night.
Thank you.
To start off with, in the first 10, 15 minutes, he did some really nice silky turns. But after that, I felt like he was trying to carry the whole team by himself.
That's not his fault.
I know, but I mean, use your teammates.
It was a one-man
right?
midfield last night, Rob.
I know. Use your teammates, though, you know, and his shooting was poor. He gave the ball away quite a bit. He looked tired. I think the problem is when everybody seems to be below par, unfortunately, you have to then look towards the manager, don't you? Because it can't
manage a bit, man. We're doing the play a bit.
it couldn't just be a coincidence, you know. But it's something to do with the system. The problem is, I'm not going to contribute if you're going to play stupid sound effects in the background, right?
All right, go on.
Even worse than having crypto there, right? So look,
Why are you firing shots at me? What have I done?
Hey, get on with
So
Sorry,
I mean, the problem is that the system, the way it's set up, it was very difficult to get in behind Midtjylland, right? There was no space in behind them.
Sorry, can you not disrespect them and call them Midtjylland, please?
Yeah, I mean, the only two times that we got in behind them, Chris Wood managed to be offside both times. I don't know how that works, right? So it just felt like it's horizontal passes, and it's like they're inviting us to take long shots because they know that we're not going to score from long shots, right?
Yeah, because they came with a game plan. They did well.
Yeah. But we didn't seem to have a game plan because because
Ange is the manager. You've just summarized it. They had a game plan. We didn't.
So the trouble is that you know, I think there's little. The players are not giving us a lot to go on there. The players are probably thinking, why aren't the crowd getting behind the team? The crowd are thinking, why are the players playing so badly? Ultimately, you need to stop the rot somehow, and well, you have to look towards the coach as being the single biggest thing that can change this. So I don't know. I don't want to really single any players out.
I worry about how.
You know,
I worry about how he's controlling his back room, though. His back room just. I touched on Hutchinson coming on in the last game. In the league game. And he came on with a face like thunder, you know, and he came on with something to prove. Now, that's great. For certain players, that's great. But for others, they're just going to down tools, especially if fans have turned their backs. Do you think it's going to be long before the players down tools? If they're not getting minutes, and why he didn't make any substitutions, not saying the substitutions would have made a difference, but you've got players on the bench itching to come on because you saw them running up and down and warming up and trying to get his attention, and he's not making any changes. So you're just pissing off the players that you have got in your squad. You're not managing that squad at all. And then when you do play them, okay, like I said, Hutchinson came on with something to prove, and he played very well in that 20-minute spell. But other players aren't going to come on with that same attitude. And if he's expecting that, all he's going to do is basically cause disarray in the back room. The players are going to down tools, especially now the fans have. Certainly the home fans have. We'll see how the away fans react. But
I don't know if anybody agrees, but. And I think this guy has so much potential. But the person who is really, really, really starting to wind me up at the moment is Callum Hudson-Odoi. Because he does the same thing 20 times a match, and it never, ever works. I
was screaming at him last night, Ben, from the trench. I was saying, go on the outside, go on the outside.
Yeah, he runs down the wing, he cuts inside, and
he can do it as well, you know. I think twice last night went on the outside, and he did it. He went on the outside and put a cross in.
Also, his shooting is appalling, by the way. I mean, I can't remember the last time he scored that goal. Was it Liverpool? That finesse goal?
So
Like,
Looks
chat,
more of a
someone-
Man City goal.
Someone, when did he
He got
last
one
do
against
it? You know,
Newcastle away, I think.
he deserves one of those for me. But yeah, no, you're right, Ben.
I think you know what's funny about this is we've had those sounds for the last 3 years, and he's only just discovered
No,
them.
we haven't actually. I've upgraded my system today.
We
hence why I'm
did.
getting all
Don't
these
tell
issues.
Fibs. We did definitely have those
yeah,
sounds.
we did.
I don't want to single Cho out, by the way. It's just frustrating. Like, he's trying to do the same thing, like, 15, 20 times a match, and it's clearly not working.
But you know what?
Again, it may be the tactics. It may not be Callum Hudson-Odoi's fault, because I think he's a great player. But even if it's Ange telling him to do that, it's not working. They need to change it up.
Is he that
How
good?
often?
Is he that good?
I
He
think
is
he's got
good, but
massive
how often was he
potential.
isolated? How
got
often was he
massive
on his own? Every time listen, the first, obviously I only watched the first half, and what I saw was when we had the back three, the wing backs, for example, every time Ndoye had the ball, he had no one ahead of him. So he's got to beat 2 or 3 men, get into space, and then get a crossing.
That's because no one else on his level as.
Same on the other side. It's
because Igor Jesus is more interested in playing in midfield than he is being a striker. That's what it is.
Well, there's no system, that's for sure. There's no system. There's no overlaps. There's no underlaps. I didn't see inverted fullbacks. I didn't see anything yesterday, and I didn't see a connection between the players. So to single out Hudson-Odoi for not doing anything, he was on his own. He's on his own, taking on 2 or 3 players.
Well, the point I'm making is the definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over and over again, and there's no difference to the end goal. And that is exactly what Callum Hudson-Odoi is doing. He runs down the wing, he cuts inside, he either tries to shoot or pass into the middle. It's not working. It's not working.
I don't even think he's quick.
No, he's not pacey.
You know what, Wolfie? I always thought that, but he has got a turn of pace. You don't see it very often.
Then he's
but
lazy.
every now and again, and I mean like once every 3 or 4 matches, he'll go down the outside. You think, oh, he has got some pace then.
He's got a short burst of acceleration, but
yeah, it's like
the way but we all know the way he does it is he makes his space. He makes his space by making a tricky move and buys himself half a yard. It's not through his pace, it's through his trickery, and we're not seeing that. But I am seeing him more and more isolated in games. Please watch out on the next game, because you'll see the same thing.
Right.
When he gets the ball, he's got no support.
Right. You're right.
I know, but there's no end conversion.
You need Williams bombing down outside him, so he takes a player and he can come inside, or a Shevchenko inverting, so the player then goes and he can go on the outside. But at the moment, you're right, he gets neither.
But that's on the manager. He's got to drill that into them in the coaching session.
That's what I mean. He can't be on Hudson-Odoi on his own.
No, I said I'm not necessarily blaming Hudson-Odoi. I'm just saying that he's doing the same thing. Whether it's him or whether it's a coaching team, it's not working. They need to change it up. They need to tell him to try something different. And if it's not, bring a sub on. They could have subbed him last night. They could have subbed Ndoye last night. They could have tried to do something to win the game, and they didn't.
Right, I'll try again. One of the biggest complaints that Tottenham Hotspur fans have had about Ange Postecoglou during his time at Tottenham is he either doesn't make any subs or he makes them very, very late. So this is not something new. This is not something why didn't he make a sub? Because he doesn't.
Yeah, but you can't throw that at him while Nuno was doing the same thing. Cooper was doing the same thing.
I agree with you on that.
I got big up Joey in the chat. I bet he'd say the same thing about Maresca as well at Chelsea. There seems to be a huge issue with managers and subs at the moment.
I've noticed that myself.
I'll tell you what wound me up the most.
Like Marco Silva, I remember him putting 3 subs on at Forest at half time.
Yeah, my boy.
Why would you bring in a manager like that when you've just expanded the squad? It makes 0 sense.
One thing I want to talk to you guys about is someone who's been getting a lot of heat on social media. Just before we do that, let me catch up with a couple of super chats. Big up to Aaron becoming a member. By the way, guys, if you just join in, my camera's on the blinker. It's like it's been told it's only got Newcastle to go.
He's lying. He's got
apologies for having my camera off. Shout out to Aaron. Thank you for becoming a member. Tomster with the £2. He goes, 2 Premier League teams tonight, W managers we should be looking at. Who's playing tonight? Is there a match?
It's Fulham,
Fulham, yeah.
Yeah, the winner gets the job. as far as
No, loser gets the job. Loser
Hey,
gets
wouldn't
the
that
job.
be nice? Wouldn't that be
Either.
nice if that was the case?
My God, is that a Friday night football match? Is this how low the
Yeah, it's
Premier
piss
League is
poor,
sunk?
innit?
My
Bloody hell.
God, man. Didn't even know what was going on. Thank you, Tomster, for that. Chris with yet another £2. He goes, it's all on Mr. Marinakis. He's made his bed. And it's like you read my mind, Chris, because that's subject we're going on to. There's still just under 800 of you in here, but 348 likes. We had 2 more likes. Could have rounded up to a nice even 350. That would be much, much appreciated. And a lovely Jess with the £10. She goes, we're going to get annihilated by Newcastle. Ange F*** off. Really want McKenna.
I mean, she screws it. I was with her until she said that last sentence. The hell are you talking
I haven't
about?
heard many saying that.
Jess, Scott McKenna.
It's an Irish connection, isn't it? He's
Scott
shit.
McKenna's not a good manager.
He's an Irish he's an Irish Postecoglou. Sorry.
Shout out to you, Jess. Okay, 2 people getting loads of heat on socials, Rob. Marinakis and Edu. Chat, I want to get your thoughts on Edu because I'm not going to say my thoughts on it yet. I'm going to bring Rob in. What are you saying about Edu? A lot of people on social are saying Marinakis should have kicked Edu, not Nuno. He should have sided with Nuno, not Edu, and so on and so forth. He messed up the transfer window, etc. You know the drill, that kind of thing. What are your thoughts on Edu, Rob?
Can you remind me exactly when was Edu appointed? Was it around Easter time?
Officially or not officially?
Either, both.
So unofficially last August, he officially came into play in June. I think it was June.
So that doesn't really line up the timing with the timing of when we went crap, because I think we went crap about April.
He would have been working in the background in that time. Yeah. Like, he was on gardening leave from Arsenal.
How the fuck can that be Edu's fault? Jesus, wet.
Well, hang on, right?
How can it be Edu's fault?
All right, let him answer first.
Right. So what was
the done
what
quite
was
well
change?
tonight? I'm proud of you. There's not been too much talking over.
What was the change? The change was Mr. Marinakis said to Nuno, "Here is your new boss." All right, and it was Edu. Now, look, all we can look at is what were the outputs of this particular system. We signed nobody in the January window. That was a mistake. Shortly after that, the home form went to pot. We got a lot of injuries and we just tailed off towards the end of last season. We went for most of the summer not signing anybody. Then when we finally got going, it was all very last minute and very shotgun. And we got a load of big names in, but there seemed to be duplication in some positions. Like, Hutchinson, McAtee.
Everything up, Keith. My boy, sorry.
So you have to look at the outputs of the system, right? Now, and then the output of the system is that Nuno got pissed off and left. And now we're currently, 17th in the table, out of the League Cup. He is the global director of football, so I don't see that he should be not held responsible for any of those things. Yeah? Now, his degree of culpability for those things, you could argue over each and every one. But I've just listed a bunch of things which are not particularly great, and he is the global director of football. So you can't say he's 0% responsible. You can't necessarily say he's 100% responsible. But the problem is, you see, if the team's playing badly, if you can't have a sackable manager working for an unsackable global director of football. So Brian Clough used to say, if a chairman sacks a manager that he appointed, the chairman himself should go.
He should go as well, yeah.
Right. So the point is that if Ange was a mistake, who appointed him? Yeah. So look, for me, I'm not in a position where I want Edu to go. But you should also remember that Edu isn't solely committed to Nottingham Forest. He's like a portfolio manager of 3 or 4 football teams, depending on whether we get an interest in Botafogo as well, right? So, I don't like the fact that he's not sackable, and yet he can cause a disruptive effect at Nottingham Forest, lose us a manager. He can appoint somebody who flops, then not be held responsible. You know, what my question is, what does Edu need to do to be sacked? And if the answer is he will never be sacked, I don't like having no.
Why do you think that's the answer, Rob? I'm sorry, I've kept quiet, but
No,
on this
I've not
ridiculous
said
thing you've been on.
he should. I'm saying the whole problem is how nebulous his role is, right?
Absolute shite, man, you're talking.
And shut the fuck up until I finish speaking, right?
You've been going on for like 10 minutes.
I'm trying to use some nuance here to say
Well,
that his role is so
fucking
ill-defined and nebulous that it's difficult to hold him responsible for any of these things, but he's surely got some responsibility, right? So my question is, what does Edu have to do to be sacked? I think appointing Ange has to count against him because it has not worked out, right?
Appointed Ange.
Is that a rhetorical question?
Really? Have you finished?
I'll tell you what. I'll just write down on a piece of paper, Edu in or Edu out, and I'll hold up whichever one I think most people agree with at the time, like the fucking rest of you. Because that's
no, Rob. Most people want Edu out. So you're a little bit off the mark there, mate. You're on the side of the proletariat, mate. Right? I just wonder why you think that Mr. Marinakis.
Do you think he's happy with the job that Edu's doing? The signings were too late. They unbalanced the team. We didn't address the defence properly.
I mean, we got some fucking thick fans on our chat, mate. I bigged them up earlier on, but some of them are thick as shit. Right.
Well, half the people in our chat are
hang on, Rob. You spoke now. You said you finished.
All right, okay. Go on then, Anne. Over to you.
Right. That was a right cartload of shit, my friend.
Go on then.
I respect you, and I respect your right to have those idiotic thoughts. If you think that Mr. Marinakis would not sack Edu if he wanted to, I think you need to see a doctor. Because if Mr. Marinakis wants to sack Edu, he'll sack him. He's not going to keep him on if he thinks he's doing a bad job.
Yeah.
And if you think that Edu was the man responsible for bringing Postecoglou here, again, I think a doctor's call is in order. Because that is down to Mr. Marinakis. He chooses the manager. Of that, I have no doubt. I have no doubt that Mr. Marinakis chooses the manager.
Yeah.
And on this occasion, I believe he's made a mistake. Also, Edu is the director of football, global football. So it's for all the clubs. He's not sitting in the Nottingham Forest office telling the Nottingham Forest manager which team to pick. It's just not happening, mate. Yeah, and everybody, exactly. And I mean just about everybody, applauded every single signing we made this summer. Now, all of a sudden, they're all shit and Edu should be sacked. I don't... It's crazy. People are crazy. They just want a scapegoat. And they've decided Edu's the man. Are you mad? Edu is there as a director of football. Like most clubs I've directed football. It's not unusual for a club to have a director of football, you know. It's quite a commonplace thing. In fact,
you're both arguing two different things.
Universal.
You're arguing
for some reason, we get a director of football. The manager doesn't like it, and the manager's correct, and we should sack the director of football. That is not how it works. The director of football is there to lay out the future of the club and make sure that the managers that come in this case, it doesn't work because Mr. Marinakis is his own man. But that's the theory. How he can blame Edu for what is happening on that fucking football pitch is amazing. Amazing that anybody could blame Edu for what's happening on that football pitch. It has zero. This twat Postecoglou was given all the tools. He was given them freedom to do what he liked with some fantastic football players. And he's shit. Like he's proven to be shit. Okay? So leave Edu alone.
Did Ange sign those players?
Edu is superb. What Edu's job is when a target has been identified, is to go out and get that target. And so far, he's done a pretty good bloody job.
Not with the defence, he hasn't.
Yeah.
Mate, do you think that Edu didn't want Califiore at Forest? You've got to be... You're stupid, you people. You've got to be realistic. You can only get players that are willing to come to your club. That's how it works. If the player's not willing to come, it doesn't matter who you've got as director of football. He won't come.
Yeah, but Edu should have realised. Edu's so good, he should have realised that he needs some more defenders. Because a few injuries and the defence is
So you think that's Edu's fault?
Yeah, I blame Edu. Yeah, I blame Edu.
You don't think that's anything to do with Postecoglou or anything like that, or Nuno or anything? You think so?
Right.
So on the one hand, we heard Nuno saying he didn't want any fullbacks. We heard him with his own.
Well, Edu should have overruled in that. If Edu is
maybe,
if Edu is overlord, he should have overruled.
At the end of the day, we brought in fullbacks. Postecoglou doesn't use them. He doesn't use Savona. He doesn't use Cunha. Shevchenko's injured.
Savona played last night. What are you on about? Savona played last night.
We've got 5 fullbacks. How many more do you want, lad? 5 fullbacks we've got.
What about centre-backs? What about centre-backs? Volley is cooked. Morato is shit. We need more centre-backs.
I didn't count Morato. That's 6. Thank you very much.
So Edu's not responsible for anything. Edu's not responsible for anything.
Absolutely blameless.
You're talking rubbish, man. You're talking rubbish.
Okay, you guys don't realize, but you're arguing 2 different points, right? I agree with you, Ant. Edu is not to blame for this because everyone was applauding the signings that came in. But to defend Rob wasn't saying it's Edu's fault. He was saying, basically, what does it take to sack Edu? That is the threshold higher, I think, if I understood Rob rightly. Yeah. Well, so Rob didn't blame him. He did blame Edu. He says
he did.
He was very, very subtle about it. Hang on, when did Edu come in? Oh, that's when it all started going wrong.
No, he said, did that?
Don't tell me what I said. Right? You just don't get to it, do you?
You said that because that's why you asked him, when did he come in?
It's black and white with you. You just don't get nuance at all, do you? It's just volume.
Oh, piss off, Rob. Don't be so condescending, you little turd.
Well, yeah, right. You just literally said, oh, you're talking a load of bullshit, and then you say I'm condescending.
What? The result is that at the end of the day, we always win.
Don't you know the difference between nuance and fact?
Anyway.
Get back in that cardboard box, Ant.
It's a good job I feel ill. I'm not up for a fight tonight, I tell you.
Is there an earthquake in Netherfield?
Oh my God, I didn't know Eddie was this divisive. My God. Shout out.
You know what? It's Wolfie. I've heard this so often, and I
yeah, but you take it out on poor Rob,
really winds me up when they're stating something as if it's fact when they don't know what we're talking about. And when people say it's all down to Edu, they're stupid.
Yeah, but you're saying it on your subjective view.
Yeah, you've got an agenda. You've got an agenda.
Edu left Arsenal because he wanted more power. Edu left Arsenal because he wanted more power, right? Now, with power comes responsibility. You cannot have someone in your organisation who's in charge of a lot of things and has a lot of power, but is not responsible for any of it. That is fucking toxic. And that's what's going on here, right? Look at the outputs of the system.
What has he done? I need a particular, not just a general nebulous idea. I want some particular.
Why do you keep saying the word nebulous?
We lost the manager over it. We've lost the manager over it, and a clown has been appointed.
That wasn't Edu's fault. That wasn't Edu's fault.
Yeah, nothing.
Technically, it was.
All the power.
How can that be Edu's fault? It's Nuno's fault.
How that is a problem?
Yeah, but it's not Edu's fault. You can blame the manager for not agreeing. You can blame the owner for bringing him in. One person you can't blame is Edu. It's not his fault.
You can. He's involved massively.
Is he in charge or not?
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to get your fucking daft head in. Listen to what I'm saying, right? Edu is not responsible for causing Nuno to be upset because Edu was brought in to be the director of football. It's up to the people around him.
Yeah, but he allegedly lied to Nuno over what's his face?
He gets involved in the signings and stuff, and he's failed. He's failed on the back line.
Why is he failed? All right, all the side has been shit. I tell you what, I'm going to leave you dildos to fucking.
Who's a good backup to Murillo and Milenkovic? Who is a decent signing to Murillo and Milenkovic?
All right, I can't believe
Edu, one of the best rated stars in Brazil. No,
you said he played in the Farmers League. You can't say that because you said Jesus plays in the Farmers League. So you can't have that agenda.
Jesus is not voted one of the best defenders in Brazil, is he?
All right, Jess with the £5. She says, also, Ez, I'll take my Cali comment apology whenever you're ready. What's that about?
I gave you, Jess, I gave you that apology last week when his 3 words were bit pot player. And I did say, I did say apologies to Jess, but I did say if he comes in, he will be hard to shift. But I also covered my back saying he hasn't had a start yet. Wait till he starts getting a start and scoring a few goals, then he might be hard to shift. But yeah, you got my apology if you watched last week's show, Jess.
She didn't. She was slacking. Thank you for the £5, Jess. Big up to James. He's become a new member as well. We're 19 likes away from 400. Well, I was saying things were going nice and calm on here, but then I said the word Edu.
When I started to talk, and then that twat next to me joins in, shut up, can't fucking finish, effing this and effing that. That's when it started, mate. If you look back, it was all calm before then.
Yeah, well, I'm going to back Ant. Rob, your comment was, what does Edu have to do to get sacked? So what's that insinuating? But you blame him. Surely that insinuates that. But what does he need to do to get sacked? That's what that question said.
How you can not hold him responsible for anything that's happening. I listed when Ant was saying
not on the pitch.
I listed a bunch of things that had happened, right? And you're going to say that none of that is his responsibility. Correct. So you've got somebody in your organisation who's got all the power, but he's not responsible for anything.
He puts the players on the pitch. He brings the players into the club. He's responsible.
Yes, and the players are good. Honestly, I get so annoyed because you lot are so fucking dense and lacking in IQ and football knowledge.
And condescending. Yeah, and
everyone were praising all our players who were being bought.
Haven't got a good point.
Everyone, hang on, just listen. Everyone that came in, brilliant. Douglas Luiz, Endo, brilliant, right? Cunha, Jesus. Everybody, fantastic. And now because we've got a shit manager who can't make those players work.
Who appointed him? Who appointed him?
I blame Edu first and foremost.
Edu didn't appoint him. Edu didn't appoint him. I tell you that.
Come on.
Edu didn't. You saying Edu appointed?
You think ex-Arsenal fucking Edu appointed Postecoglou? Are you mental?
That's why you're so precious about it. That's why you've just shown your cards. That's why you're so precious about it, because he's your
Hold on. Speaking of precious,
Mr. Marinakis. He said to Mr. Marinakis, "No, you can't have Xabi Alonso. I want Postecoglou, the ex-Tottenham manager."
Hold on. Speaking of precious,
if I owned the team, I would probably just stick with him until the end of the season, come what may.
Even if we go down.
Even if we went down, yes.
Damn Postecoglou.
I don't need anything else. I'm quiet from now on.
All right. Well, it got here.
You should apologise to me because on the last goal you said I was lying.
Yeah, you were.
And everyone's just seen I'm not lying. Right,
everyone's seen that clip. Where was the bit where I said I want us to be relegated with Steve?
Yeah, that was a misspoke. You're right, Rob. He shouldn't have said that. But you did say that you'd stick with him if you went down.
You said you'd stick with Cooper.
On the other side, Rob, you look a lot more handsome now than you did then.
Oh, sorry, I was paraphrasing. I didn't get the exact word right from a year ago. You said if we go down with Cooper,
you weren't paraphrasing. You were strong.
I was paraphrasing.
Like you always do.
Why do we, Rob? Why do we let him do this? We know what a trophy is.
All right. On that note, I'm gonna send you over to Lawless.
Can you hear something?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
We can't see you. Put the camera back up.
They're talking about Nuno wanting to sign Chris Wood and Adama Traore.
Oh, fuck off, Nuno.
So go in there and just spam Wood in the chat there. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow to talk about fucking Newcastle. I can't wait.
Talk about
hit the like button. Please subscribe. Go spam in there Wood in the chat. Come on, you Reds.
You Reds.